War of the Visions, we need to talk. We need to talk. You've been doing some really good things. You've also been doing some things that kind of really irritated me, so we might get a little bit of spice in this video, just a little bit, but they've been doing some good stuff, but there's some other stuff that really needs to change. So let's answer some questions. So some of the good stuff that's been going on in War of the Visions, right? They added the pity. They added the ease of access to shard collection. They've been giving away a lot of currency, right? Very good. Unit acquisition, that's fine. War of the Visions is also about spending time on your character and then using your character in content up to endgame content. But where I think the biggest problem in War of the Visions comes from right now, there's two things. It's update time and things that are broken and fixed. Things that are implemented broken and just not talked about or not figured out for a while. And as well as on top of that, the type of content that's in the game and the sort of interaction that you have with your character for endgame content. So let's tackle the endgame content one first, and it'll kind of lead into the other one. So endgame content, War of the Visions, there's a lot of stuff to do that's like middle tier, not very difficult. AI auto battle, you can kind of get in there. It's going to be a lot of it. You're farming stuff. You're trying to do some +3, +4, +5 things. That's fine. But in addition to that sort of content, there needs to be some endgame stuff. And we've had it before. We've had the tower. We've had the mid-late deep dive stuff. We have the raids, which are endgame stuff. If you get up to level 9100, that's a different sort of beast, which also we'll talk about. But the endgame content is very few and far between. Like some of the best stuff in the game where you get to manually control your character only happens once in a great while. It's not as rare as Haley's Comet, but it's almost that rare. And that kind of sort of needs to change, because what happens is people get sort of disconnected. You're not really playing the game a lot of the time. You're kind of watching the game play itself over and over a lot. And you want to use your character, you want to control your character and make interesting tactical decisions, because it's a tactical RPG. You want to make those choices for yourself. And when you get into some of the end game, especially some of the end game high level PvP stuff, you see your characters making really inane decisions that make no sense to you. It kind of gets aggravating. People get really disincentivized with the game. And I think that's one of the big problems, is you have this disconnection between the players and what the player has been working on. And the player works on this thing, and the thing acts very, 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 very poorly. And you, instead of you being able to take the blame for what you decided to do with your character at certain times, which is where you do it in endgame content, but that content doesn't really exist that often, you see your character play itself and do some really questionable things sometimes, and you might be punished for it. You might lose a battle in PvE, or you might lose a battle in PvP, and you sit there and you would say, I would have done something differently. What that character did made no sense. It ran all the way right, and then it ran all the way left, and it didn't use any skills anytime, and then it walked up way too late, and now he's in a 1v3 fight, and now I've lost. There's a lot of examples of really weird stuff going on in the game, and that's a big problem. That's a big problem, especially when it comes to endgame PvP for a lot of players out there. So that's something that needs to be taken a look at, and this is going to go right into the other thing. That's a big thing, though. With the big endgame thing, well, people don't get to use their character, since I want to make sure that this is crystal clear, is a big problem. Because people want to play the game, not watch the game play itself. And maybe you want to reduce the grinding a little bit for players. That could help out, because a little bit too much, especially on these raids, a little bit too much. For global, especially for the global player base, that also might be a side thing you want to take a look, but that's like a band-aid fix. That's like a band-aid fix. The other thing that we're going to get into is the menuing system. I know a lot of this is getting worked on already. All right, they've already talked about it. All right, cool thing there, right? The crafting system, the menus, atrocious. Takes way too much time. You got to click on 64 things. The raid system, pretty awful as well, because it's just a pain in the butt. You have to go do something and then go do something else and then go do something else, and make sure you're walking and swapping back between like 15 different menus. We know that's getting changed, but that needs to get changed fast, because it's a pain in the butt for a lot of players. Pretty much everyone. It's just, why do I have to go do this thing and then I'm forced to do this thing before I can do the other thing again over and over and over and over and over and over? Irritating. No, that's the word. Irritating. All right. So those things, these irritating sort of things, also need to get changed. Now, the other thing, the biggest thing that I've had a problem with for a long time is things getting implemented and just being broken. So you have this game where 95% of it is AI focused, AI driven right now, and some of the end game things that you do when it comes to PvP, especially like Arena or Guild War, are highly dependent on AI doing it because the AI is the only thing that does it. And a lot of the times characters get implemented that do not work correctly. And it takes sometimes them very long to get changed. There's been several, we've had Miranda get implemented. She got fixed the quickest where her AI was like messed up. Killfay got implemented. She took a little bit longer to get fixed, I think a week or so, because her AI was messed up. And then we have something like Fryevia, who is almost 3 months old now and is finally now fixed or just getting looked at now. 3 months where part of the character wouldn't work correctly like at all. She still kind of works a little bit weird, but you can make her work, which is fine. But 3 months to take a character who was completely and utterly broken and worked like no other character did with that sub job of White Mage than anyone else before. Run forward, protect myself, run forward, protect myself, protect myself. Over and over and over every 3 months that took. No word, and here's the thing that made me upset the most. No word, no acknowledgement officially in the game and notices that this character is not working as intended. We're checking it out, anything like that. No official statement made, nothing. Today we got an update, great. 3 months later, a time-limited character broken as on conception, basically, in implementation, and no word. Also today, day of the update, we had the longest standing problem that got fixed a while ago, got broken again. So we have AI got updated, cool, they said it, they mentioned it. Patch notes don't really talk about a whole lot of stuff. No real specifics, all right? That's something else we're gonna be talking about right now. No real specifics, that's not really their fault, but no real specifics for it. But where's it at? It's something about they changed the AI, whatever. They said like we changed things, basically. TLDR, we changed things. Okay, cool. Hate, when it first got implemented, threat down, hide, right? Didn't work at all right? And no one really knew this for a long time until Katone kind of came out and her Gauntlet came out. Her TMR, which gives the ability for any unit to use it and hide. I think that's right around this same sort of time frame. That got fixed a couple weeks later, 3 weeks later, something like that. I don't know. And now it's worked for a long time. Today, it literally, it got broken again. It's gone. It's gone. It doesn't matter. You have negative 9 million enemy and everyone else has like 0. Someone's going to walk up and just single target your character down. Single target you down even though you're negative threat. Got broken again. You cannot have this implementation of broken things, especially when a game has a concept, especially if you're doing PvP with AI, when things are supposed to work one way and then you do an update and they get flabbered around a little bit. That's upsetting, and that leads back into the disincentivization of players to continue playing your game and want to pick your game up. They hear people talking about this kind of stuff. That's why this sort of thing needs to get fixed. It needs to get changed. You need to give your players the ability to interact with your game, like literally interact with it, not watch their character run around. That's not interaction. People love doing stuff where they interact with their characters, right? That's why I like kind of doing raids with my guild and friends and stuff like that. Even though it has its own problems, those are getting better and hopefully they'll be solved soon. But the other stuff, where you have to actually watch your character do this, some of the AI's choices, they're so reprehensible. I only use that word. You're just flabbergasted sometimes, and it makes you just not want to play for a while. You're like, why did that character run left 3 spaces, turn 1, do nothing, and then enemy moved up towards them, and then still out of range. Now my turn 2, I'm just gonna run right 3 spaces and start back where I was. There's a lot of weird stuff out there. If I can find clips, I'll throw them around through the video of units running around with an AoE buff away from their whole party into a wall and casting their AoE buff, or unit being so dumb that they won't move and attack even though they could move next turn and attack. A lot of these things, hopefully they're being solved, but they need to be solved faster because people are getting upset. People are getting infuriated over this sort of stuff. And one of the best parts of the game, which would be a match battle, which is where you fight other people real time, which would be, you would think, one of the best parts. It is one of the best parts, and it could be the best part about the game. is also at the same time the worst part of the game because the back end is managed so poorly. There's no actual matchmaking ranking system. It's determined who you match against based off of your player rank. There's no like win-loss ratio determining how strong the game thinks you are. It's literally, what is your level? What is your opponent's level? And are we in this range? I think they just changed this to be like a band-aid fix because there was people who were keeping their rank low on purpose, right? Keeping their rank low, like 30, 40. Not picking up anything that gave them rank EXP, not doing the story mode, and sort of smurfing in this game just to dumpster on people. We had people that were rank 40, and they were like, oh yeah, I got some characters at like level 50, level 60, maybe have like a level 70 something mod coming in, you know, rank 40, and you'd have like a rank 39 matchup with them, all 99s, all +5 gear, all everything, and they just crush the dude, gone. This would be one of the best parts of the game. It could be. And the other thing is, it's also not only handled poorly on the back end, it needs to have some sort of MMR system. It needs to have something that brackets you, right? You know, bronze, silver, gold, platinum, diamond, just like Guild War does. This sort of stuff needs to happen for match battle as well. And then you need to incentivize people. I know there's a shop, but also this shop is like one of the worst shops in the game, for PvP especially. You know, we did just add some of the stuff to the arena medals. You can buy character shards here. Friend medals, you can buy character shards here. Guild medals, you can buy character shards here. PvP medals, you cannot buy character shards there. You can buy some resmithing hammers and some Hermes sandal stuff, which is still good. Platinum armor in here, and then some seals and some hammers. Traditional stuff that you can buy with all the other sort of currencies in the arena shop, right? But you're limited in what you can get per day with your PvP medals. It's a very, very, very bare bones system. It's not supported correctly, so it's not that popular. It needs to be better supported. There needs to be bronze, silver, gold ranks. You need to be able to get medals based on what rank you are weekly, just like you do in arena, except the ranks don't reset every week. Have people stay bronze. Do bronze, silver, gold. Do have that run for like 2-3 months. Have it like be a seasonal thing, right? We have this class match thing, which we haven't even used yet. Make that. Make it a ranking bracket system, and the people you fight will be around where you are in your ranking bracket. Ta-da! Yeah, make that a thing. You could also flesh it out. Maybe you have a picks ban system at some point when we have more characters, a little bit more, right? Right now it'd be a little bit weird to have a pick ban system. Maybe you can ban one dude pre-ban and ban a dude that they pick. Maybe have a pre-ban and you pick 4 characters and you both get to ban one of each that you pick. Something like that. Some sort of idea. I don't even know if that would be good, but it's an idea. It needs to get fleshed out more. Right now it's literally just hit party formation, go in, do some stuff, match up against some random person, get a couple medals. It's super RNG who you fight. Maybe they're way higher level than you. If you're a new player, maybe they're the same that you are. And this match battle system is based on win streak. You can get wins as many times as you want a day, but you only get rewarded 5 times a day. And you get up to like a 20 or 30 times a win streak to get max medal bonuses, which is why people are smurfing. And it's just awful. It's just terrible. It just feels bad, but it would be, and it could be, one of the best parts of the game, but it's just kind of been like left at the wayside for right now. I know they just did update it, so you can have speed times 1.5 and speed times 2 up in here to make it not take forever and have everyone feel like they're running in molasses for any player. That's cool, but there also needs to be everything we just talked about. Flesh it out. It needs to have some sort of backbone structure, especially an MMR system. And then on top of that, you should also add a spectating mode, which allows players to watch other players. This could be used in a lot of different ways. From other players hosting, you know, fan-made tournaments, which would be cool. A lot of cool stuff you could do with this system, but it's just not fleshed out. It's like an afterthought of everything else that's in the game. That's one thing that is big and needs to get changed. So all in all, I mean, we've been getting good stuff. It's one of the most gracious games when it comes to currency and stuff, and that's only gotten better. The only thing we're really missing now is like a guaranteed on banner sort of pity system. We've gotten another different kind of pity system. They've added, you know, they've added step ups that anyone can do, especially with time limited stuff. We've had time limited step ups that you can use any sort of currency on. They still do have the you know, the paid stuff, which is weird. Always kind of sat weird with people because it's called the same currency, like Visior versus paid Visior. Should have been like Visior and then something else, like make it a red diamond and call it a different name. Would sit better with people. I guarantee you it would, but whatever's going to call it paid Visior still, I guess. But you know, a lot of that stuff's gotten better over time. It's way easier to get time time-limited shards and stuff with the Chocobo Expedition updates. There's been a lot of good stuff that's been done in this game, but there's a lot of stuff that really needs to have, like, some thought put into it and some fixes done. Quality of life. We know we're getting the quality of life updates. I know you guys are working on that stuff. You've already talked about it, but more needs to be done. People need to be able to feel incentivized to play the game. You want to have people be able to control their characters. Basically, don't make it a pain in the butt to play the game. Don't make it an irritation, right? If it's an irritation, it's irritating. Duh. And who wants to be irritated? Who wants to log into a video game to be irritated? Don't answer that question. But until then, guys, stay safe. You want to see more stuff, you know where we are. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care, guys.